Well, everyone, living with autism can be difficult for individuals, but often those that also find life difficult, as Audrey was saying, are the parents. So here's parenting coach Sharon Lawton giving us some advice that is sure to help the parents out there.
Hi, so I'm Sharon Lawton, the resident family coach on the show, and today we're going to be talking about autism and parenting. So challenges come in phases really, and I guess it just sort of depends on whereabouts the parent is on their journey. So let's say, for example, the parent is very much on the beginning of their journey and they're not, they haven't got a diagnosis as yet. So those challenges might be just around just getting people to believe them around the fact that their child is displaying traits of autism. And then there are issues around particularly where getting someone to believe them is concerned. If the child isn't displaying those signs at school, that can be very challenging. Also, there are areas around feelings of isolation, feelings of lack of confidence, and also feelings of guilt. Now, the feelings of guilt can be around very much that maybe the parent is spending a lot of time and attention focusing on the child with autism's needs, and therefore the child, the other siblings, the other children in the family maybe aren't getting as much attention, so parents can feel very guilty about that. Confidence can really take a knock. That can be a real big challenge because, of course, the challenges that the parent are facing now will be very different to what their expectations were of how they were going to parent. So that can be a real challenge. Then the final one, I would say, really is about other people's expectations. So the parent is dealing with new behaviour themselves, but also the challenges of other people's expectations on how they feel that their children should be behaving. So if we think about tips, some of the tips that parents, that I would recommend for parents to use, the first thing I would say is get to know your child's triggers. Really get to know them, get to know what escalates your child, but also get to know what helps to soothe and regulate them. So find ways that you can help your child to communicate with you non-verbally. So there are tools such as the incredible 5-point scale, and also there are other tips and other tools out there that will be really, really helpful. So that would definitely be one thing. The other thing is trust your instincts. You know your child best. You are the expert on your child, nobody else. So trust yourself, trust your instincts, try different things and just keep trying until they work. Think about your child's sensory temperament. So what I mean by that is what really helps your child. So if it really helps your child to run, build running into their everyday experience, and that will really help them. And then finally, I would say, where tips are concerned, is look out for support groups. There are some fantastic support groups out there. Have a look for those support groups, because in those support groups you will not only get some great advice and support, but also you will find people who you can share your experiences with, people who really know what you're going through, but also people that you can just have a coffee with, and of course people that you can laugh as well as cry with. So if I were to say, what are the type of things that you can do to help yourself to better parent? The first thing I would absolutely say is to look after yourself. There is a reason why on the aeroplane that they say in the safety talk, put your own oxygen mask on first before attending to the people that you're travelling with. You need to look after yourself, because if you're not keeping yourself topped up emotionally, you're not going to be there to be able to best support your young person. So make sure that you do that. Find ways in which you can support yourself. Be kind to yourself. Maybe find not just those support groups that I mentioned earlier, because obviously that helps with isolation, but also maybe have a think about taking some time out for you, doing something nice for yourself. And also, maybe consider a little bit of mindfulness or an exercise class, or just taking a walk and getting some fresh air. So really important to start with. So the next thing I would say is, if you're out and your child maybe is struggling, be proactive. Have a think about that. Have a plan so that you're not sort of like left on the back foot. So what I'm actually saying is, have a think about when you're out and your child is really struggling, have a way out. Have a way of thinking, right, and looking at the situation, this isn't really working for me, it isn't really working for my child, so that you feel empowered and confident enough to say, do you know what, this isn't working for us right now, so we're going to leave. And don't be worried about that. You know, just, you know your child best, as I said earlier. And then the final thing is, it's very easy for us to miss the beautiful strengths that your child will have. Have a look at what they do well. Have a look at what their gifts are. All children on the autistic spectrum will have something that they excel in. Celebrate that rather than looking at the things that they're not able to do. And then you will be able to build on that relationship, and the two things will come together, and you'll have a fantastic relationship and enjoy parenting your child regardless of whereabouts they are on the autistic spectrum. So thanks again, everybody. I've been Sharon Lawton, and back to you, Chrissy, in the studio.